I can tell this is a group that's happy to be together. It's almost impossible to get your attention. Good afternoon, I'm Jim Mazza, class of 1988, and I'm the Associate Vice President for Alumni Affairs here at Cornell, and it is my honor to welcome all of you back to the Hill and to this Spirit of 31 Passing It Forward ceremony. What a wonderful gathering this is, which is now 10 years old. It's the chance for the most senior alumni class to present the reunion banner to the first 5-year reunion class. And they're all sitting down here smiling at each other. That you can tell they're really happy to be back. And we're very happy to have all of you back this weekend as well. So this year, the class of 41, which is celebrating its 75th reunion, will present to the class of 2011 for their first 5-year reunion. So let's give them a round of applause. We are also welcoming back the class of 1946 and the class of 1951, who are celebrating their 70th and 65th reunions, respectively, and we're very pleased to have them back as well. Now, there are two Cornellians who have created something of a continuous reunion club of their own. These are folks who are celebrating their 77th reunion, and I don't know if they're here or not, but if they are, I hope that you will welcome from the class of 1939, Dawn Seymour and Professor Emeritus Jim White. Are you here? And if you are, please wave. And if you don't see them now, you will see them throughout this weekend. Let's welcome them back as well. Finally, let me also thank the family members whose parents, grandparents, and indeed great-grandparents were members of the class of 1931. And in fact, a couple of the individuals, descendants of the class of 31, are responsible for this wonderful program that launches Reunion every year. And we are very grateful to Alice Berglas and many others who have made this event possible over the years. I'd like to ask anybody who has an affiliation with the class of 31, because your father or mother, grandparents, great-grandparents were part of 31. Will you stand up so we can recognize your legacy at Cornell? You know, today we hear a lot about the importance of so-called cross-generational communication. You know, where you get various ages put together for sharing of ideas and of information. And I like to think that the class of 31 invented the concept. They really did. They reached across the decades, and this event, I think, really exemplifies that. And they've influenced literally generations now of future classes. In fact, 31 was the first and only class at Cornell to celebrate an 80th reunion. Imagine that. And we're so pleased that today, that on this 10th anniversary, that members of the class of 2006 will be in attendance throughout the weekend, and we want to thank them because they were the first to receive a class banner back just 10 years ago. And that class banner exemplifies something that was so true of the class of 31. It's a spirit that places value on returning to the Hill as a class, of having an active role as a class, of being a role model for future classes. And nobody's done that better than the class of 31. And now we see it in the classes of the last 10 years. And I think if you ask the class of 2006, for example, do they have 31 spirit? They will tell you, in fact, they do. So this ceremony honors that lasting spirit, a tribute of paying it forward from one class to another. And now I'd like to continue that spirit by introducing several Cornellians who will share in the passing the banner ceremony. From the class of 1941, please welcome a Cornellian who has greater name recognition than Theodore Zink, and that's Dr. Henry Heimlich. And he will be passing the banner to the reunion chairs of the class of 2011, Bree Castellanos, Ashley Zanlu, Elizabeth McInnes, and Christopher Mejia. We welcome all of you back to the Hill. Congratulations. We'll pause now for the wedding photos. So now I'd like to introduce someone who understands the idea of paying it forward perhaps better than anyone, although he'll just say he's pinch hitting. Please join me in welcoming Cornell's great friend, Interim President Hunter R. Rawlings.
Thank you. Oh, thanks. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. First of all, I want to say what a pleasure it is to join all of you here this evening. And also, I would really like to introduce someone you know very well, my wife, Elizabeth. Elizabeth, would you please stand? I would not be here without Elizabeth, so let me just say that that's a vital part of my coming back to Cornell. I was given a script of things to say to you this evening, but at this age and stage, I don't have to follow the script. Because what are they going to do, fire me? So I want to say, first of all, what a distinct pleasure it is to see friends, a number of friends who are here. Carolyn Sampson. It is really nice to see Carolyn. I haven't seen Carolyn in several years. Thank you for coming, Carolyn. It's great to see you. Jim Stocker and Pat Stocker. It's great to see you all here. It's really, really nice. And I don't want to single out just too many people, but for Elizabeth and me, the value of being back is seeing friends. Friends on the faculty, friends on the staff, friends even in the student body. Some of them, have been around here quite a long time as students, and it's nice to see them. Charlie Moore, Judith Moore, would you all please stand? It's great to see you. Charlie was the athletic director here when I came, and it was great to get to know Charlie and Judith. They used to be neighbors at the president's house. We would see them in the evening. Charlie won the Olympic gold medal in the hurdles, as many of you know, and he did many great things when he was here, but he did one thing that was greater than the rest. He invited me to Pine Valley Country Club to play golf. And I will never forget that as long as I live. For those of you who don't know golf or don't know Pine Valley, it is the #1 course in America. No question about it. It's extremely difficult. And I remember very well when I went the first time, Charlie was very nice to invite me. And you have to have a caddy at Pine Valley. They don't allow things like golf carts, right, Charlie? They don't do that. It's a good old-fashioned true golf test. And I'll never forget, I walked out to the first tee and I met my caddy. And my caddy said, "What's your handicap?" And I said, "Well, maybe a 15 or something." And he looked at me and he said, "Let's try to break 100 today." And I said, "What do you mean break 100? I'm going to do much better than that. I'm going to try for a 90 or something." Well, when the day was over, the score was 104. I was intimidated, but it was a chance to play one of the world's great golf courses. Thank you, Charlie, for that. It was really great. Another person I want to introduce, Bill Kay. Bill and Britt, Bill is here. Just a great friend, a great supporter, a wonderful human being, someone Elizabeth and I really got to know well. I'm not going to forget, as long as I mention golf, Rip Haley. Rip Haley. You all know Rip. I saw him a week ago out at the country club playing golf. I just asked Rip what he shot, and he said, "You don't need to know." So we're just going to leave it at that, and he's not going to know what I shot that day either. So it's really great to see so many friends. Chuck Mund, where's Chuck? I just saw Chuck. Here's Chuck. Chuck, thank you for being here. It's great to see you again. It's really wonderful. And then while we're talking about some of the older folks who are here, there's Susan Murphy over in the corner. Susan Murphy. Everybody knows Susan. So Susan gives as good as she gets, as they say, so I won't hear the end of that for a while. And now, who has emerged into the room? Frank and Rosa Rhodes, thank you all so much for being here. It's great to see you. I mean, this is why, in spite of the really tragic circumstances that led to our coming back, and Elizabeth and I feel that very acutely. Beth Garrett was a wonderful president. She's someone I got to know a little bit and I respected very much. And that was a tragedy, pure and simple. So we're all struck by that. It's a downer in every possible way. But Beth's here in spirit. This would have been her first Cornell reunion. It would have been a great affair. She would have done a great job. So I think it's just worth keeping Beth in mind as you go through the weekend, because she was looking forward to this as her first opportunity to meet a large number of Cornell alums. So it's wonderful to be back in spite of the circumstances. It's great to be with friends. I'm sorry I haven't singled out all of you, but I wanted to mention some of the ones that Elizabeth and I recognized immediately, and we're really happy to see you, and we look forward to seeing you throughout the weekend. So with that, I'm going to be off to the next event. But I just want to say I have a certain empathy with you all, because just 2 weeks ago, I was at Haverford College for my 50th reunion. So I'm with you, and that reminds me, one more person I want to introduce, one of my absolutely favorite all-time Cornellians, Alice Katz-Burglas, who's right here, who adopted me into the Cornell class of '66 as soon as she saw me. And I hope I'm still in good graces. I'm looking forward to seeing you all. Alice, thank you for being Alice. Thank you all.
Thank you very, very much, Hunter. It's now my pleasure to welcome a good Cornell friend to the stage, and that's Simon Krieger, who is the president of the Cornell Association of Class Officers, who will present a long overdue award, the Vanneman Award, to our good friend Gene Pearson.
Thank you, Jim. You know, we were supposed to be in Philadelphia announcing this award, and then a big snowstorm got in the way. But we're here today, and we're very glad that we could do this today during reunion, right at the beginning of reunion. In 2005, the Cornell Association of Class Officers, also known as CACO, established an award to recognize alumni who, as class officers, provided exemplary service to their class and university. The award was named in honor of Bill Vanneman, class of 1931, who served as a class officer for more than 75 years and continued as an active volunteer until he passed in 2011, just shy of his 102nd birthday. Members of the Vanneman family are here. I believe Bill Vanneman, who I met just recently, is here. Thank you. And I'm not sure if Lizzie is here. No? Well, Lizzie Klein would be class of 2008, Bill's great-granddaughter. And so 4 generations of the Vannemans have been walking to the hill. 5. I'm sorry. 5. I'd like to recognize another past recipient of the Bill Vanneman Award who's also here, and some of you may be celebrating a reunion with him, Continuous Reunion Club, Jim Hanchett. Today, I'm really delighted to present this year's Bill Vanneman Outstanding Class Leader Award to Gene Pearson, class of 1948. Jean was the unanimous choice of the Keiko Selection Committee. She's been involved in the class of 1948 since her 15th reunion. In 1992, she became treasurer and held the position ever since. She helped plan the last 5 class reunions, beginning with the 45th. Some comments from Jean's fellow class officers, including Martha Mapes, who is here from the class of 48. Quote, "The backbone of the class of 1948 has been Jean Pearson, who has been an officer of the class in every capacity. Her talents and contributions are many. Her absolute mastery of class finance records and payments has been gratifying and amazing. Any member who has attended a class of 48 reunion planned by Jean will testify to an array of successful, warm-hearted weekends. In a quiet way, Jean has made an enormous contribution because she wanted to support her class and Cornell University." Additionally, from Bob Persons, a former Vanneman Award recipient himself from the class of 48, quote, "Jean has been a willing volunteer for the class of 48 for the last 65 years, helping organize our reunions, watching over our treasury and class scholarship. She has done most all of the hard work." The Vanneman program at your table offers much more detail on Jean's life history. Jean, everyone in this room, plus your classmates who could not be here in person but are here in spirit, thank you for your passion and commitment to Cornell and the class of 48. It's time for you to join me on stage and accept your award with deep appreciation.
This will be your award.
Okay. Well, I have to tell you, this came as a complete, total shock. It never occurred to me that what I was doing would produce a Vanneman Award. I can assure you I would have been more assiduous about everything had I known. My class has been a rowdy bunch since the beginning. 77% of them were vets, and they came to Cornell with an opportunity through the program that they never would have had an opportunity to do. They were very serious about their classes. They never skipped. They drank Ithaca Dry on weekends. And that until about our 25th or 30th, it was, when people came down to reunions, it was cliques, people who came and all just stayed in their little places. But as they grew older, as we all grew older, we recognized that it's much better if you extend yourself and mix, very much more than that. And also, the vets started to feel physical problems, which were due to the war and so forth. So it turned into a different kind of reunion. Actually, I saw some of my classmates completely sober for the first time at the 50th. And it was so stunning, I couldn't believe who they were. But that was due to the war too, I think, because they were, they were recognizing that they couldn't quite keep up with what they had been doing. But it was fun. We had a really good time. I'll skip over the 45th because I got a call on Monday morning of reunion saying that our reunion chair was not going to make it from the Midwest, and she had left no instructions. And so I didn't know where we were eating, what we were eating, I had no clue. So that reunion turned out to be a disaster. The worst thing was we were giving beautiful red sweaters that year, and when I opened the boxes on Thursday before registration, I noticed a very strange thing. There were no small. There were very few medium. There were a lot of large and extra large. And does my class look like a big? We're not raising giants in those days. So I got an incredible amount of flack from, I called Arizona and I said, what's wrong with my order? And she said, your person called me in January and said her daughter had told her at Christmas that everybody now wanted everything oversized. Well, mine comes to my knees if you consider that oversized. I still wear it. But that reunion was 100% total loss. So I decided we were going to make the 50th the biggest blowout we had had. I used virtually all of the treasury, and we had the best flowers, the best food, the best everything for an entire weekend. And we had a lot of people who'd never been to a reunion, so they didn't know about our disgrace of the 45th, and so they said they would never miss another one, and they never did. So we've had our 65th. And so we, as a class, we decided we could do something besides drink. And we decided, we polled our people and asked them what branch of Cornell they would like to support. And I thought it would be ornithology. We had a lot of birders. And turned out to be the plantations. So we built stone steps going down to Beebe Lake beside the bridge. We made a big stone overlook with a very low seating arrangement around it, and so that you could have any kind of reception there you wanted, or people just sit and read books or whatever they wanted to do. That turned out, we had our milk punch parties there, of course. I wouldn't kid you that we didn't use it. So we also did an overlook on the other side of the bridge, and that led to some trails that you could use. Our class also on, let's see, technically on December 7, 1998, we established a scholarship for the children of staff or employees. Faculty youngsters have other things that can help them and so forth, but nobody had anything to help students of staff or employees to come here. And so Martha Mapes and I, my double over there, and who has helped and been absolutely instrumental in every single thing we've done, we decided on a staff and employee one, and it's been very successful. This year we're giving out close to $13,000, and that's a help to any student. It's not, the university gave us some money in the beginning, and we're in the long-term pool, so we get some from that every year. We have a young woman now who is going to be a junior, and so we've had very good luck with students, and that scholarship has been one of the things that the class really cherishes, and everybody gives. I mean, everybody's been very generous to give to the scholarship. So the 50th turned out to be terrific. The 55th was just so-so. The 60th was terrific. Martha, this is all her doing. She can give you more good ideas in 5 minutes than the rest of us could do in a month. She decided we should have our reunion for the vets. And so she said we should get them to write something before reunion, 1 page of where they had been and what they had done with a picture, and 52 responded, and I made them into books. I gave them, each one of them, a book, but I also kept an original, and we put it up at reunion. We were in, I don't know if all of you know Duffield Hall. It's very big, very long. And we found in closets great big long screens. And so we put all 52 up there, and we had a lunch, a very, very gorgeous lunch there. Martha had arranged a flyover with planes from Syracuse, so we went up at noon and watched our flyover. We also took the doors off of one part of Duffield Hall in order to get a shell in, because the Bartells in our class had already announced previously that they were going to give a shell to Cornell every 5 years for 50 years. So they wanted it to be donated to one of our classmates who had always been instrumental in the rowing program. That was a really big surprise to everybody. They had no idea of all of the, well, you know, I'm beyond my, I'm not even computer literate, so all kinds of technical stuff and these things, which I had no idea about. I thought they just put men in there and they rowed and that was that. No. So that was fascinating to everyone. And where we had the pictures, or the 52 papers from the vets telling where they had been. These were all vets who had been shipped from Europe when the European War started to go and given a couple of months, and they were going to go to the Pacific Theater. Well, their good luck. The Pacific War ended early in August, and Cornell wasn't going to start for a while, and they just all came flocking. And so we got a lot of the first ones who were released. Those poor people in Europe with all their high numbers never got here for a long time after that. So they all felt very, very fortunate. And the university asked for the original book to put in their World War II material. And so we are going to live in perpetuity. And that was a great reunion. And Martha had all the ideas, everything we did. I merely carried them out. She is, as far as I'm concerned, she and I are co-everything. She has been a bright light. We had in Ithaca a group of 4 of us who, and 2 wives who often came to our meetings when we were planning reunion. And so, where was I going with that? I've lost my, God, I am old. Whatever. Well, that about takes us through, I would say. The 65th was a whole different ball game. By the time you get there, you've lost an awful lot of your friends. The vets are dying at a rate that is just horrendous. And so we've lost most of the men in our class who were 2 to 5 years.
Give you a 1-minute warning. How about a 1-minute warning?
A 1-minute warning?
2-minute warning?
2-minute warning? I'm going over, right?
A little bit.
Well, I could have
Take your
warned
time.
you about that.
Take your time.
No, I'm through. No, just going to school, I want you to understand that when the vets came back, they were 2 to 5 years older than the women, and we went to school with men. We did not go to school with boys, and it made a completely different experience for the women, I can assure you. It just was very different. And we were very privileged. They never mentioned the war, but it was always there. So we had, I think, a very fortunate experience with our class. So we're still going.
Gene, thank you. I'd say you and your class, you're a force. And let us know when the milk punch party starts, because we'll be over. Please join me now in welcoming the Cornell Hangovers, who will come forward to sing. It is the Hangovers, isn't it? Oh, good. Come on, guys. Come sing. It's not a Cornell party without a couple of Cornell songs, and we're really pleased that the Hangovers could be with us today. Come up and sing.
Give my regards to Davy, remember me to Teefy Crane. Tell all the pikers on the hill that I'll be back again. Tell them just how I busted, lapping up the high ball. We'll all have drinks at Theodore's Inks when I get back next fall. Give my regards to Davy, remember me to Teefy Crane. Tell all the pikers on the hill that I'll be back again. Glory, I'll be back again. Tell them just how I busted, lapping up the high ball. We'll all have drinks at Theodore's Inks when I get back next fall.
Yeah.
Hello everybody, thank you so much for having us. We are the Hangovers, and we are extremely delighted this year to perform for Alumni Revisiting the Hill. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of the weekend, and at this point, I'd like to invite everyone to join us in singing the
Far above Cayuga's waters swing its waves of blue. Stands our noble alma mater, glorious to view. Lift the chorus, speed it onward, louder praises tell.
The Cornell Hangovers, thank you guys very, very much. Thanks all of you for being here. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. We look forward to seeing you. Good night.